Hello everyone. So today I do want to talk about impulse buying and also kind of what kind of questions can you ask yourself before buying something, no matter if it's clothes or something else, especially also because Black Friday and all the dates around that and the sales are coming up. And so I think it's important to just, make sure we only buy what we need to save money, to be more sustainable, and actually to just have the stuff we want to have and not useless garbage that we don't need. But I have a guest today, or actually I'm the guest in her apartment.
I'm a little bit nervous because it's like the first time talking English. My name is Paulina and I also have a YouTube account and an Instagram account talking about like minimalism, clothing and all that stuff. But just started this journey, I can say. So
please go support her. I'll make sure to link her channel up in the cards and also down below in the description. But now let's get started. So I did prepare a few questions, I think, that are very useful to ask yourself when you think about buying an item. And these questions should just help you determine if it's actually something you really want, you are going to use in the future, or if it's something that you just want to have right now, but actually it's like a waste of money and space and resources if you buy it. The first question is already like really important and goes really deep, I think, and it's, why do I want this item?
Maybe I have a little example. When I was in school, like 6th grade or something, I used to have expensive clothes as a child, and all the girls wear that shirts with the print from New Yorker. It was New Yorker. So like the colorful shirts with the print, and then I came home and because they bullied me sometimes because
for your clothes. Okay.
For my clothes.
For my clothes as well, but out of different
because
reasons.
I was too chic and not so cool.
Oh.
I think I'm not cool today also, but
you wanted to be back then.
I wanted to be cool, so I came home and told my mom, we have to go to New Yorker. I want to have these shirts, not because I liked it, but everyone wears it, so I have to do it as well, so that I'm as cool as they are.
Yes. Yeah.
So, and I think this was one reason buying things as a teenager. And now I try not to buy things because it's trendy or anything. Also because like the trend is, I think I'm too old for some trends because I don't want to wear a crop top, and also I'm working full time, so I can't wear things like that.
When would you wear that? Right?
So I think about if it's really my style, and if it's like, now I'm also looking for classic clothes. Okay, this pullover is like a little bit special, but normally I look for classic clothing that I will wear in 5 years. It has to fit my style and not because everyone wears these stuff. I have to buy.
Most of us experienced that maybe as teenagers, that we thought we need to have what everybody else has. I think it's not limited to that, right? So even nowadays, when we're in our mid-20s, we maybe still sometimes look at other people and think, oh, they look so good in that, or I've seen this everywhere around, I should try it as well. And I think it's just really important to get clear on the reason why we want something. Do we think this piece will give us happiness? Do we think this piece will make us more beautiful? Do we think this piece will make us, friends or things like that, and
more
just,
cool.
Yeah, be more realistic. Are you really more cool if you have that piece? Like, are you? And so I think having very realistic expectations for a piece of clothing or a piece of tech or a decor item. So it's just about, does your life really get that much better with that piece? Like as much as you think?
Maybe we see things on other people and then we think, oh, when I do wear exact the same thing, maybe I'm then as cool as she is on her Instagram account. But sometimes it's one picture, you see the code and you think, oh, okay, that's the look, and then you try it on and it's like,
it looks different. It doesn't make you, the influencer. You won't have the same life. And Instagram, just to be real, it's not real.
Yeah.
It's just, this person also maybe took 100 pictures.
For the perfect shot.
The perfect shot. So it's just not something we can expect from a piece, giving us the perfect influencer lifestyle or whatever we want to ask from it. So the second question is really practical, but I still think it's a very important one, and it's, when am I going to use this? And I am especially thinking about, like, sometimes we buy stuff for our fancy self, a version of us that doesn't exist, or we buy things for a very specific occasion that doesn't come up that often and doesn't justify buying this item.
I think it's helpful because I think you also have to think about how your daily life is looking. Yes. I know there are people, they have like the working clothes and then the clothes for free time and stuff, but it's like 80% to 20%. I think you also have to think about how often can I wear this? Because is it an item I can wear for both? So can I wear it for work and for my free time?
But if it's just for one specific part of your life that maybe doesn't even exist, or you just hope it will be there one day, then it's not worth buying it. No matter if it's, a piece of clothing, if it's the great new wireless active noise cancelling headphones you think you really, really need in your everyday life, working from home. You decide. And in the end, these questions are not to make you not buy anything, but to make sure that the things you do buy will add value to your life. Then I think let's move on to the third question. Does it match my standards? Like developing certain criteria for that a piece, an item has to match for you to buy it. And now we both kind of care about sustainability. So one of the things, of course, would be, is this a sustainable option?
Is it a classic piece? The color not like super popping? So is it something I will like in 2 or 5 years as well? Just from the color, because it's like painting your walls. Like you do it in red, and then 1 year later you will say, no, and then you have to do it again. Yeah. So I think you have to look for color. So is it really the color I wear often? And then I also look for material.
So just good quality, or do you
good
have
quality?
Certain...
Yeah. And sometimes it's like I also look for secondhand pieces, but if I don't find anything, then I look for a piece that is really good quality, or maybe a sustainable piece, if it's possible. Sometimes you don't find anything there, but and is it a piece that lasts for a long time? And is it a thing you can combine with a lot of stuff you already have in your closet? Yeah. I think that's also a good point.
My criteria are kind of similar. I more so also have like a criteria of, I don't want to have any more plastic than necessary in my wardrobe. That's like really, really important to me. But also, of course, when it comes to all the other things in my home that I need, I try to get it secondhand first, just because it's less expensive, it's more sustainable. No matter what it is for you, I think setting some criteria to that a piece needs to match before you buy it will really help. Also avoid impulse purchases, because if you set those before discovering that great deal, that can like keep you from buying something you will regret later. But even though it looks like a great deal, I think it's not a good idea to buy it if it's really, if it just doesn't match half of your criteria. Yeah, let's move on to the next. It's, I think, number 4. When you buy, of course, you think something is like great and you want to have it right now, and it would be so great if you have it. But my question, which can help a lot, I think, is how will you feel about it in a year from now, or using it for the 100th time?
I don't know if it's like for clothing so much, because if you have your criteria and only buy stuff you will like also in a year, you won't buy something you will not wear in a year. So I think this is more for like tech stuff or other things you buy.
Yeah, and we talked before we recorded, we talked about like iPhones or phones in general, that you usually, for most people, you don't need a new upgrade every single year. And while, of course, when buying it, you feel like it would be such a great thing to have that new model, it would feel better, it would look better, you would be maybe a better person. But after 2 or 3 months, will you actually notice a difference, and will your quality of life be that much better with the new version than with the one from last year? And if it does, like if your quality of life is better, then buy it.
And I also have an example. I own a few super expensive bags. 3? I think it's 3. Oh, Jesus. Louis Vuitton bags. And I bought the first one, and it was so crazy going into this shop and because sometimes they tell you can't go in because the clothing doesn't fit.
Oh,
or
really?
Something. Mm-hmm.
I haven't been to a shop like that.
Or maybe I know. My grandmother told me when she wanted to go in there, they asked her, "Do you really want to buy something?" So sometimes they only let the people in who say they really will buy today. And I went there and I bought a bag, so it's also like a classic one, not something special,
too trendy,
not too trendy, something special, a classic bag. And it was like, oh my god, because the bag it costs over €1,000, and it's like, oh my god. And then a few weeks later, okay, it's a bag. So,
you feel normal because
you
used
feel normal, and I don't use it in another way than a bag that was cheaper.
Yes, yeah.
But it was like, oh my god, I got this bag and I bought it by myself.
Yeah,
and
yeah.
It was super special, but it's like a toy when you were a child. So it was, oh my god, and then you play it sometimes, and okay.
Yeah, and I think it's important to just try to avoid it being only that feeling like, oh, it's great when you use it first, and then when you use it for the 30th time, then it's just like normal. And of course, to some degree, this will always happen to whatever you own, because whatever is like great first, it will become normal later.
Yeah.
But I think it should still be a good investment when it's normal. So is it still a good deal when you feel normal owning this, or is it only a good deal for the first time you use it because it is new, not because the item itself is a great item?
And I think with consumption, it's always the same game. It's sometimes not because of the item, it's just because of this happiness you have when you get something new and you go out of the shop and like, I got something new. And it's just this feeling you want to have again and again.
Yeah.
So it's like addiction sometimes. So, and you don't buy things because of the thing itself. You just buy it because you feel happy after buying something new.
Yeah, and I think like we can acknowledge that, and we can feel happy after buying something new, but we should avoid just buying stuff because of that feeling. You know, you can have it when you need something, but we have to find like different ways to get that feeling other than just buying stuff. And I think what really helps, I think, is when you match this feeling with like the other side of it, because whenever you buy something, you then own it. You then have to care for it. You then have to store it. You have to clean it. You have to declutter it in the end, because only if you keep it until you die, you know, then you don't have to declutter it. But in any other case, you have to get rid of it in some way. When it breaks, when you don't want it anymore, you have to resell it. That's such a hassle usually. So I think it helps thinking about that other side of like, yes, I get a great feeling, but I'm now responsible for that item. I now have to care for it for the rest of its life. And that maybe helps to you know, not overreact and buy something you don't actually want to have.
Do we have another question?
Yes, we have the last question. And I think it's an important one, especially for like Black Friday, when you're sometimes surprised with deals you didn't know would come up, when you're in situations you didn't see coming. And this question is like, did I want this a week ago?
I think you can use the Black Friday really good if you really have.
Yes.
I know. I have some friends, and it's also like, especially for tech stuff, because some tech stuff is super expensive. So they really made a list with stuff they really need, and then look on Black Friday, are there any deals to get the stuff a little bit cheaper? And I think this is a good way to use Black Friday.
Yes.
But I think you should not buy anything because it's 50%.
Yeah.
I don't need it.
Yeah.
Or maybe it's like beauty stuff, and you know, maybe I will need it in half a year or something.
But then maybe it's gone bad already. You know, if you're not unlucky.
So, and you just buy it in restock to have it, just because it's like 50% or more. You know, there's like crazy deals in this time.
Yeah, I think that's exactly what I think is I would do as well. You know, if it's planned, if it's actually something you need, if it's something you have like wanted for a long time, then it's absolutely okay. It's like a day from the marketing industry. It's targeted for us to buy stuff we don't need. But if you struggle financially, of course, take advantage of these deals. And if you had something on your list and you can't afford it otherwise, or it's just, you know, better financially for you, then I think, you know, it's why not buy it on Black Friday or whenever it's like less expensive. But exactly, we shouldn't buy something because it's off. It's not a good deal if you don't need it. And I think sometimes it's hard to tell these things apart if we're in the moment. And so it helps in general to prepare and maybe have a list for what you will want to buy, and whatever is not on that list, you really shouldn't buy it.
I think we have a lot of points to think about,
and I think
before buying anything now.
Yeah.
So you can make a list now with all the points.
Yeah, exactly. That's actually what I wanted to say. Please leave a comment with your most helpful tips to avoid impulse purchases, or in general, avoid purchases that you will regret later, because I'm sure we have not covered everything and every situation because everybody's different, but I'm sure if you have like a good tip, then there's somebody else in the comments who will appreciate it and maybe get value out of it as well. So thank you so much for watching. Now, I do want to say again, please check out her YouTube channel. It's in German, but I know there's about 10% of the people watching are German or do speak German. So check it out, or even, use the automatic subtitles. That could work as well. So please check her out if you're interested in my videos. I think her videos you will like those as well. And I'm also going to link you another video right here, a video of us together actually on her channel in German. So I hope you will enjoy it and you will check it out. And I hope to see you next time. Bye.
Bye.